Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we're rounding up 10 transfers with amazing stats to back them up. We start with Manchester City on the hunt for the world's most expensive defender. 10. Gvardiol. In typical Pep Guardiola fashion, the coach found fault with one of his excellent centre-backs last year, handing former Team of the Season star Aymeric Laporte just under 1,000 league minutes, despite fielding a formation with 4 central defenders. A treble says the choice paid off, and in such context, it's hard to see anyone breaking into the team, but Gvardiol's stats suggest he's one of the few with a shot. A high volume passer like all Pep's favourites, the Croatian is both reliable and incisive on the ball, rating in the top 16 of centre-backs last year for pass success, while making the top 20% for progressive passes, actually a decline from the season before, when he was also in the top 9%. Also capable of driving forward, he carries the ball upfield about as often as Stones and Diaz, and he could even spot the Englishman in that hybrid defence and midfield role, incredibly averaging over a dribble a game across his time in Germany, the best showing by a defender and showcasing his excellent awareness and press resistance. Though his tackle success and aerial presence are minor issues, the player is just 21 and putting up City numbers at a much worse side. If Pep breaks the world record for a defender to bring him in, we'll understand why. 9. James Maddison. Great finishers can hide a lot of problems, and quietly Tottenham have seen a creative, forward-thinking midfield turn into a workmanlike, unimaginative engine room. Last year, the team took just 13.5 shots a game, good for 7th in the Prem, and all 6 sides which attempted more shots also had a higher XG per effort, widening the gap. Only Kane's excellent finishing saw them net 70 from 57 XG, so whether the striker stays or goes, Spurs need more creativity, more shots, and more avenues to attack. Step forward, James Maddison. A 26-year-old homegrown number 10 snapped up for a bargain £40 million, Maddison is perfect for the Lilywhites. Despite Leicester's miserable relegation in 2022-23, Maddison had his best individual campaign, racking up 19 goals and assists, while his 0.6 XG per 90 was way above his previous high of 0.47, and would have only marginally trailed Kane at Spurs. His 3 shots would also be second in North London, while 2.5 key passes would sit top of the squad, and with 5 shot creating actions a game, Maddison was 4th in the whole Premier League last year, only behind De Bruyne, Fernandes and Mahrez. Under an attacking coach with better support, it's scary to imagine what Maddison could produce. 8. Fabio Carvalho. With Dominic Szoboszlai heading the other way, RB Leipzig have smartly secured the loan deal of Fabio Carvalho from Liverpool, and the youngster looks a perfect acquisition for the Red Bulls. Now just 2 months from his 21st birthday, the Portuguese is in desperate need of top-level minutes, so what better coach for him than Marco Rose, who gave Haaland and Szoboszlai their debuts in Austria, and Marcus Thuram and Bino Gittins their Bundesliga bows. Carvalho looks a solid replacement for the Hungarian too, though he's more of a goal threat than creator. He tops the £60 million man for shots with 2.6 a game to 2.2, and his decision making is better, those attempts coming from 16 yards out on average compared to 22 for Szoboszlai. On the other hand, he's not as good a presser, hitting 1.6 key passes to 2.6 for the new Liverpool signing, but his defensive output matches his rival, and he's excelling at getting into the box, with 3 times as many touches and dribbles in that zone than the ex-Salzburg man. Given the extra space on offer in Germany, the division seeing 3.2 goals a game last year compared to 2.9 in the Prem and 2.4 in the Championship, Carvalho could explode given the chance. 7. Timber. Havertz might be a gamble, Rice may cost a fortune, but Arsenal's capture of Timber has all the hallmarks of a slam dunk. The Dutchman, just 22, and former target of Manchester United and Bayern Munich, is a versatile defender, switching from centre-half to right-back to midfield with ease. And his arrival would both add depth to the backline and give the Gunners a new dimension, with the right-back available to step into the centre of the park instead of the now predictable Zinchenko inversion. Timber's distribution numbers, like every Arteta target, are downright astonishing. In 22-23, Timber ranked in the top 1% for defenders for passes, pass accuracy and progressive passes, making gains for the 3rd season running, while his pace made trouble for opponents too, with progressive carries also sitting in the topmost percentile. Like Saliba, Rice and White, he recovered loose balls often, and when it came to real defending, he was no slouch either, winning 74% of his tackles he attempted, a rate only Saliba and Tierney could match in the Gunners squad. Adding to the core of youngsters at the Emirates, Timber is both a signing for the present and the future. Arteta's squad is getting close to complete. 6. Branko van der Boomen. Replacing one guy called Timber with another whose name means of the trees should work. And while Branko van der Boomen plays in midfield, not defence, the Dutchman returns to Ajax with a perfect profile to fill the hole left by the youngster. A free signing from Toulouse, Van der Boomen came through the Ajax Academy and is now 27 and coming off a spectacular season, with Get French Football News naming him to their Team of the Year. The 6'2" unit helped Toulouse to promotion in 2022, with 12 goals and 21 assists in Ligue 1, and he didn't disappoint in the top flight, bagging another 13 goal contributions to secure 13th place. Across Europe's top 5 leagues, he was top for long balls completed, 6th for passes into the final third, above Rodri, and for top aggressive passes, and he coupled this insane production with decent ball carrying and defensive effort too. Not bad value for someone earning a reported €16,000 a week. A hometown boy, zero cost and exceptional stats, it's Christmas come early for Ajax. Perhaps their present will be returning to first place. 5. Christian Pulisic. Just 800 minutes and 2 goal involvements in 2022-23 is not what Chelsea would have expected from Christian Pulisic approaching his 25th birthday when they shelled out £57 million for him in 2019. It's hard to describe his time in London as anything other than a disappointment. Valued at £60 million back then, more than twice his current 25, the American has started just 58 games of the last 152, so why do we continue to rate him? Well, in his limited minutes, Pulisic has scored or assisted every 2 games, and until last season, his XG remained stable at over 0.4 per 90. In fact, in his first year with the Blues, he took and created roughly 5 shots a game, then placing 12th in the Premier League, and he was also 11th for completed dribbles and 6th for carrying balls into the penalty area, giving no indication that he was out of his depth in English football, while for the USA, he's bagged 20 goal contributions in his last 36 caps. With consistent starts and Leao on the opposite flank to draw defenders away, Pulisic could make good on the promise he showed at Dortmund. 4. Mohamed Kudus. A few years after the so-called death of the number 10, the attacking midfielder is back in fashion. Havertz, Mount and Arda Güler have all made big moves this summer, and another candidate for a tentpole switch is Ajax's Mohamed Kudus. A 22-year-old Ghanaian who can play in the hole or out wide and has seen his name linked with the likes of Brighton and Arsenal. While Ajax's dominance usually skews their players' stats, the Amsterdam side finished a distant third in the Eredivisie last term, but Kudus was one of their best performers, producing 14 goal involvements plus an outstanding 6 in 7 Champions League appearances. A phenomenal dribbler, he beats this man nearly 5 times a game, in the top 1% of all forwards, and he also pops for shots and XG, with 3.5 of the former and 0.7 of the latter, better than well-regarded Xavi Simons. And even better, he passes in the Ajax style too, with an 86% completion rate, again placing him in the top percent in his position, and a good indicator for the possession demands of the game's best sides. With strong work rate too, Kudus dribbles like St. Maximin, gets shots like Rashford, and passes like Bernardo Silva. In other words, a typical Brighton target. 3. Mateo Kovacic. Chelsea's sales team have done a decent job putting a dent in the £600 million spent under Todd Boehly, with roughly £200 million through the door already and a slew of others waiting to bag their exits. But still, losing Mateo Kovacic will hurt, the Croatian joining Manchester City for just under £25 million after a 5-year stay which he won his 4th Champions League crown, a £15 million reduction on the fees the Blues paid themselves. Chelsea might have been playing relegation level football last year, but Kovacic always looked like he'd shine under Pep. The former Real Madrid man has been one of the most press-resistant midfielders in the world over the last decade, averaging 2.4 dribbles a game at an 80% success rate. In that time, and even in messy teams, he's excelled, matching Rodri for passes into the final third each game on over 8, while creating as many chances as Gundogan or Bernardo Silva, and regaining the ball for Chelsea roughly 10 times a match between tackles, interceptions and recoveries. The only thing missing from his game is end product, but in Pep's 3-2-2-3, he'll have plenty of chances to correct that. Who'd bet against a 5th Champions League medal ending up in his cabinet? 2. Edson Alvarez. Following the collapse of a €40 million move to Dortmund, Edson Alvarez could become an option for the vacant Declan Rice spot at West Ham. And if a move materialises, we'd be excited for the Hammers. The Mexican is 25 and the same height as Rice, and while he's less of a runner and more of a passer, he's got the perfect profile for a reliable top flight 6. Big defensive numbers in a high possession side are rare, but Alvarez has put up roughly 4 tackles and interceptions a game over the last 5 years, close to Rice's 4.2, while his success rate is dead level with the Englishman at an impressive 61%. He can also match Rice in aerial wins, 60%, and possession recoveries, 9 a game, plus his distribution looks superior, with 75 passes a match to Rice's 50, better accuracy and roughly 8 balls into the final third per 90, dwarfing by some margin the £100 million midfielder's 6.6. Given that Moyes has been quoted £70 million for Fulham's hard-working but limited João Palhinha, Alvarez represents great value, and the interest of Dortmund only reinforces our faith in his quality. Wrap this up, save cash for a forward, and West Ham could be cooking in 23-24. 1. Andre Onana. Whatever the feeling around David De Gea now, you can't deny the Spaniard gave United value for money. Signed at 20 for £19 million, a then British record for a keeper, he's given the club 12 years of service and picked up 8 trophies, while Chelsea, for example, had signed 10 stoppers in that time period. So it makes sense to pay big for the right man between the sticks, and in Inter's Andre Onana, the Red Devils have identified the ideal target. Though at 27 he won't have the same longevity, Onana is one of the world's best on current form, keeping a clean sheet 39% of the time over the last 7 years, compared to 34% for De Gea in the same stretch. The Cameroonian also overperforms versus expected goals, saving his side roughly 6 goals in the league play since 2018, and nearly 8 in last year's Champions League alone, while his distribution is outstanding, rating alongside Liverpool's Alisson for long ball success, with a 55% accuracy compared to De Gea's 43. Without a single error for the Nerazzurri last year, Onana is the complete package and tailor-made for the Old Trafford pressure. He could be exactly what Ten Hag needs. So that was 10 transfers the stats love, and if you like this video, please drop it a like. If you've got any suggestions of your own, drop them in the comment section below, and as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.